Nearly everyone I've ever met had to start out in life doing something they didn't love that much before they were able to do what they really wanted. And none of us had meltdowns like this.
I have a bone to pick with America! I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls. You know, people say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience!
There are three things going on here. In the world of psychology, we call the first one perceived idealism. As you may be aware, when people attend college or even post-secondary education, many times there is an idealism that is pushed above and beyond all the political garbage. And this is the idealism that everything that they do will succeed. This is just like getting participation trophies earlier in life. Many people in Gen Z truly believe that they're working towards purpose and impact, not realizing that there's usually not an entirely huge audience or job pool for some of the things they're looking into.
Hi, my name is Lex, and my concentration is the performance of self.
Sophie Lopez, and my concentration is titled Queering and Decolonizing Theater Practice.
This leads to unrealistic idealism about guaranteed success in anything that they try. What many are finding out is that the reality of economic challenges that come in this area are larger than they believed. This creates a widening gap between their expectations and what's actually attainable. And this usually leads to the next step, which is called in psychology, heaven's reward fallacy. This is a mistaken idea that if you just work really hard on what you're interested in and you're very dedicated to it, no matter what, you're going to have absolute success. And they often believe this is going to lead to long-term career advancement, regardless of market dynamics or even skill requirements. And many times, as all of us know, you need some sort of experience. And another part of this heaven's reward fallacy is that not only do they have unrealistic expectations, but they truly believe if they're passionate about what they're studying and if they're passionate about what they are feeling, everyone else will be passionate about it too. Which leads to problems like this.
Can anyone explain to me how I have 2 degrees? Oh, and a certificate. I'm trying to apply for jobs right now. The only person I have responding to me is a man from a tech company saying, hey, you want to answer some customer service problems? And you know, I'm looking down at these and I'm looking at them and I'm kind of wondering, I'm like, what was this for again?
This leads to the third thing, which is often called frustrated entitlement. This is the delusion that you are guaranteed some sort of a high position or some sort of great success based on the education that you have, not based on your experience, not based on your skill set, but based on the fact that you went and got a degree in a certain area. The problem is this leads to intense anger and extreme disappointment when these expectations aren't met.
Let me put it in perspective for everybody who's a little confused here, okay? I work 5 days out of the week, 40 hours a week, okay? I do not make enough to live on my own. I would not make enough to pay rent, water, electric, and eat.
We own nothing.
This can actually trigger a severe form of depression or anxiety, which is not the same thing as a psychosis, but it can be very serious. Just as an aside point, psychosis is a break from or losing touch with actual reality. This can lead to delusions, which many people have, and all a delusion is a false belief, especially in light of given evidence that that belief is not true. And this ultimately leads to frustration and a sense of what is called shattered entitlement. Some people look at this and think this is one of those check boxes called narcissistic injury. And in some cases it might be, but generally speaking, it's not. It's simply a break from reality because they don't understand that the entitlement that they feel does not translate in the real world. The last part that goes with this is called unrealistic optimism. This is an overly positive outlook that would lead people to overestimate the likelihood of a positive outcome, and it completely negates the possibility of negative outcomes. This can lead to overconfidence in their abilities and in their future, regardless of what they decided to study, which unfortunately sometimes leads to the reluctance to adapt and change and work on something that actually might have a market attached to it. If you've ever known anyone that this has happened to, or if you're currently dealing with this with someone, put it in the comments section. I'm sure you are not alone.